Hi, first grade friends. This is Mrs. Morrill with another Elmer story for you today. You just heard David McKee, the British author illustrator, read to you the original Elmer the Patchwork Elephant story. And now I'm going to read you one of my other favorites, Elmer and Rose by David McKee. So, one of the things you know that I love is fables. We have done a lot of work with fables this year. We did Leo Leone's fables, and now these are also short animal stories that teach us a lesson. So, let's see what we can learn from Elmer and Rose. The first thing we learn is the end papers are a fun rose color or pink color. Elmer and Rose by David McKee. A young friend of Elmer's named Rose blushes from her head to her toes, or sometimes instead from her toes to her head, but never from her tail to her nose. Just kind of a fun rhyming poem to introduce Rose to us. Elmer the Patchwork Elephant was with his cousin Wilbur. They were looking at the herd of elephants. Jolly fellows, smiled Wilbur, but not exactly unique. They're all unique, said Elmer, just not as different as us. Imagine a herd like you or me. So here you know Elmer, the patchwork. Here's Wilbur, who is like a checkerboard. And then here are all the other usual gray colored elephants in the herd. At that moment, Bert arrived and said, Grandpa Aldo wants you to. Come on, Wilbur, said Elmer. Grandpa Aldo was looking under a bush. Where is she? He muttered. Then, seeing Elmer and Wilbur, he said, She must be hiding from you two. She, said Elmer. Who are you talking about? Here we meet another very unique elephant. Grandpa Aldo is also very unique, like Wilbur and Elmer are. Rose, said Eldo, she wandered away from her herd of elephants that passed by. You two can take her back to them. Ah, there she is. Don't be frightened, Rose. Come on, come meet Elmer and Wilbur. From behind a tree peeked a young elephant, a pink elephant. Another unique elephant. Oh, said Elmer and Wilbur in surprise. Very pretty, Elmer added quickly. Rose became even pinker. She blushes very easily, whispered Eldo. I imagine that's why she's called Rose. Pleased to meet you, Rose said, and she blushed again. So blushing is when we get embarrassed, the blood rushes to our face and it turns kind of a reddish pink color. So Rose is called Rose, and look at her rosy blushed cheeks here. You'll find the tracks of the herd by the lake. Just follow them, said Eldo. You'll go faster than I would. Goodbye, Rose. Rose said goodbye very sweetly, blushed a deeper pink, and ran after Elmer and Wilbur. Look at those silly monkeys. If you go back to all the different pages, you'll see that they're kind of spying on the elephants. At the lake, they met another elephant. Rose stared and hid between Elmer and Wilbur. Hello, Elmer. Hello, Wilbur, said the elephant. Hello, he continued, awkwardly looking at Rose. Rose, said Elmer helpfully. After the elephant had gone, Rose said, Oh, that's a strange one. Now, what's kind of interesting, boys and girls, is gray is what the typical usual elephants look like, right? But Rose was frightened and thought he was strange and unusual. Every so often, to make the journey more fun, they raced one another. Rose loved that because somehow she always won, and every time she blushed even pinker. I wonder if Wilbur and Elmer are letting her win because she's younger. Between the races, Wilbur played tricks with his voice. He made his voice roar from behind a rock and shout from a treetop. Rose squealed with excitement, blushed almost red, and held onto Elmer's trunk. Elmer just chuckled. Suddenly, Rose said excitedly, Listen, they're just over the hill. I'll go alone now. You might upset the others. They're quite shy. You're all such unusual elephants, especially that strange gray one we saw. Thank you for bringing me back. Come and visit us sometime, Elmer called after her. Strange gray one? What did she mean? Asked Wilbur. Oh, I think she was just joking, said Elmer. Do you think she was just joking? From the hill, they watched Rose safely join the herd. She wasn't joking, said Elmer. No wonder she thought the gray elephant was strange. The elephants in Rose's herd were all. Do you have a guess, boys and girls? Do you have a good prediction? What color are all the elephants in her herd? Pink! That's why she thinks the gray ones are very unique and unusual. Going home, Albert and Wilmer were met by Eldo. You knew about those pink elephants, didn't you, Grandpa Eldo? Said Elmer. Yes, and I wanted you to see them, said Eldo. Rose was nice, said Wilbur. I thought she was unique, and she thought the gray elephant was unique. They're probably all nice, unique, or not, said Elmer. Wilbur grinned. Remember what you said, Elmer? Imagine a herd like one of us, especially like you, Elmer, laughed Eldo. Elmer smiled and said nothing. He was imagining a herd of elephants like himself. Oh boy. Look at that. Kind of hard on the eyes, isn't it? But pretty cool. I love that colorful patchwork. So, boys and girls, here's tells us some more fun. There's many. I think there's about 40 Elmer stories. Boys and girls, this is another short animal story that teaches us a lesson about not only unique and embracing our uniqueness and things that are special, but there's another message I wonder if you can think about that we hear in this story by David McKee. And it has to do with when Rose came across that gray elephant, she thought he was strange or unusual. And when he came across her, he thought she was strange and unusual. So, boys and girls, it's kind of this idea that sometimes things that are new to us can make us feel like a little bit scared or nervous or like it's strange and weird and different. But it's not. It's just different. And different doesn't mean bad or weird or strange. It just means different. And it might be new to us. And it might be unique. And that is okay. So it's about us embracing the uniqueness in ourselves, but also the uniqueness of others and other things, ideas, and creatures like in this story. So, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this Elmer as much as I love my patchwork Elmer stories. And I will see you next week for another lesson. Bye, friends.